In the history of global football, we often talk about tactical shifts. But what we are witnessing now is perhaps the most brutal butterfly effect the sport has ever seen. Think back to 2017, at the sacred grounds of Wembley Stadium. The legendary Diego Maradona, a literal deity in Argentine folklore, pulled England's premier striker, Harry Kane, aside to whisper a closely guarded secret about the fine art of finishing. Now, nearly a decade later, as we stand on the cusp of the 2026 World Cup semifinals, that very piece of advice has morphed into a haunting curse. It threatens to dethrone Argentina and Lionel Messi. Today, you and I are going to look closely at this historic irony, exploring how England might finally settle a 50-year grudge using a weapon forged by Argentina's greatest icon. To understand the gravity of this moment, we must go back to a cold London afternoon before a massive clash between Spurs and Liverpool. Invited by his former teammate Ossie Ardiles, Maradona visited the Tottenham training ground. Amidst a sea of established stars, his eyes locked onto a tall, ambitious young man named Harry Kane. There were no tactical boards or high-tech video reviews. Maradona simply offered a piece of raw, instinctive wisdom. He told the young striker to stop always shooting at the near post because keepers had figured him out. He urged Kane to use his eyes to deceive the goalkeeper before going for the far corner. Kane absorbed it like a sponge. That very evening, with Maradona watching from the stands, Kane scored a brilliant brace against Liverpool. The masterclass had worked, and an assassin was born. As an analyst of this beautiful game, I find the psychological layer here absolutely fascinating. To understand why England fans are smiling with quiet irony, we have to reopen a wound that has refused to heal since 1986. To Argentina, Maradona is a saint who brought national redemption. To England, he remains the ultimate villain, a genius cheat who snatched away the dreams of an entire generation. For 40 years, the English have carried this heavy resentment into every tournament. Imagine the sheer, poetic irony if Harry Kane eliminates Argentina using the exact far post shooting technique and eye feint that Maradona gifted him. The Argentines believe they carry Maradona's DNA to protect their crown, yet they are blind to the fact that their own savior handed the blueprint of their destruction to the English captain. If we step away from the historical drama and focus purely on tactical reality, Argentina has genuine reason to worry. At 32, Harry Kane is playing with clinical, cold-blooded efficiency, already sitting on 6 goals in this tournament. His spatial awareness and elite decision-making serve as the vital anchor for Thomas Tuchel's highly disciplined system. When Kane and Tuchel calmly told reporters that England still has not reached its peak after brushing Norway aside, it was not false modesty. It was a cold warning. Tuchel is deliberately holding back, fine-tuning his midfield block to systematically suffocate Argentina's build-up play. Contrast this with Argentina, who no longer possess the relentless squad depth of 2022. They have survived on sheer grit, emotional endurance, and the individual brilliance of Lionel Messi. But here is the million-dollar tactical question that we must ask. Can a single, aging genius like Lionel Messi carry the immense weight of an entire national legacy on his shoulders? He is up against an English side that is vastly different from the fragile teams of the past. This version of the Three Lions is physically imposing, defensively rigid, and fueled by a deep-seated historical grudge. In tournament football, structure often beats individual magic when the legs grow tired. If Argentina cannot find a way to support their captain, Messi might find himself entirely isolated in a midfield cage designed specifically by Tuchel to shut him down. We are about to see if historical greatness can truly overcome modern, systematic pragmatism under the brightest lights. For Harry Kane and this battle-tested English generation, simply reaching the Final Four is no longer a benchmark of success. They do not want headpats or polite applause. They want the gold, and they want to silence their doubters forever. When the final whistle blows, the football world will either celebrate Lionel Messi marching toward his ultimate farewell or they will be forced to look back at the ghost of Diego Maradona. It would be a supreme twist of fate if a casual tip shared on a training pitch years ago ultimately decides the destiny of a football-mad nation. So, where do you stand? Do you believe in the power of Messi's incredible legacy? Or will Maradona's unintended curse come back to haunt Argentina? Share your tactical thoughts below, subscribe to the channel, and let's get ready for a historic kickoff.